You are listening to Rouge Radio, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
It's time to get the point as Rouge Radio is ready to kick off.
Ready!
The best football talk with the best in the business.
So what is the cost? You have 2 first-round picks this year because the Argos were dumb enough to trade for Drew Willie.
A few rookies.
We go directly to the on-field product. We welcome to the show the 20th overall pick in this past Sunday's CFL draft, DeAndre Wright of the Alouettes. DeAndre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
And the occasional Hall of Famer.
Please welcome Doug Brown, who is one of the members of the current class of 2016 in the CFL Hall of Fame. Doug, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, guys, for the kind words and for having me on the program.
Rouge Radio is on the air. Here's your hosts, Robert Dalton and Tony Allen.
Rouge Radio Podcast is powered by the Canadian Football Podcast Network. This is episode 540. Rouge Radio is sponsored by the good people at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, enter the promo code Rouge. Your discount or your order will be discounted by 20%, and you get free worldwide shipping. Go to Manscaped. Your balls, they will thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Dalton and Tony Allen. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Irv. I think we're going to have to let you go. You kind of stepped over your words a little bit there. Yes, it is another episode of the Rouge Radio Podcast. I did not bother to fix my flag if you're watching this on YouTube. No, it's still for the M for the time being. But we have some breaking news. As of a couple of hours ago, the CFL announced their halftime show. So, of course, we're going to talk about it. First off, before we go forward, Tony, how's it going, my man? You're as we're talking off the air, you're a little bit elated. You're Blue Jays. You know, I think we're all Blue Jays fans, but they're on the verge of tying the series, the ALCS.
Don't say it. It's still the bottom of the ninth as of this recording, so
it's 8-2.
My son, pardon?
It's 8-2. Come on, I think we're.
It depends if we put in Jeff Hoffman. That 8-2 lead can disappear very quickly if Jeff Hoffman is in to save the game. So
if by
an 8-2 game.
If by chance that the Mariners do come back, you guys can come at me. I will be man enough to post this.
And it's funny. I go after my youngest for that all the time. And I do it because we were at a Tigers Prince Albert Raiders playoff game last year, second round of the WHL playoffs. And the Tigers are up 4-1 in the third period. And Charlie says, "We've got this. This one's over." And look I gave him was enough. He's like, "What did I say?" And my wife was there too, and even she's like, "Charlie, you don't say that. You don't say that." And sure enough, PA came back, tied that game, and it went to overtime. And I was just joking with my boy, but when it got tied up, he genuinely thought he had done something wrong.
Oh, God.
And I was like, no, it's not a real thing. But it's like, in my head, I'm like, that's 100% your fault, son. You know?
my
the Tigers did. They win it in overtime, so it's all good.
My wife will get on me. You know, she's like, if my team is just absolutely destroying, whether it's football or hockey, the Jets are up, 6-1, 5 minutes left. My wife will look at the score and be like, "Okay, you can turn it off. Come hang out with me." And I'll be like, "No, the game is still going." And she's like, "Oh, come on, they'll win at this point." It's like they might come back. But on the flip side, if my team is behind 6-1, I'll be like, this is over. I'm not watching this crap. And then she'll be like, "Well, how come you insist on watching the end in case that the other team comes back? Come on." Uses my logic against me, and I don't like it.
Yeah. When I was still in radio, I don't remember the year, but you'll know what I'm talking about instantly because I believe you follow the World Juniors pretty closely, eh?
Somewhat.
But we were working. I was working late one night when I was still at the radio station, and the girl who was working on our sister station noticed I was watching the game, and Canada was up on the Russians 6-2 or something, 6-1. And she's like, "It looks like we're going to win the gold medal." And I almost I tried to hate her to death as soon as she said that. I like the daggers I gave her when she said that. And sure enough, Russia came back, tied it, won it. And I don't think I talked to her for a week because that's how pathetic I am. But so I joke, I jokes like that stuff isn't real, but it seems to happen a little bit too much. And my son's really buying into it as well because he's going through a baseball phase and he really wants to see a no-hitter or a perfect game. That's his dream right now. He wants to see a perfect game or a no-hitter, and a Blue Jay pitcher at some point in the season had a no-hitter going into like the seventh. And as soon as he said, so-and-so has a no-hitter, bam, base hit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like it's like the typical, like you're watching your game, you're watching your hockey game, and your goalie's got like a shutout going, 3 minutes left to go in the game, and someone says, "Oh, 3 minutes left till a shutout," and then boom,
yeah,
someone scores. It's like that goalie is just channeling their ESP, right? You know, just being like, oh, someone say shutout so I can let one in.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was even Gord Miller did that once to Canada.
Gord Miller's done it a lot.
And they went after him, and he like trying to defend it, and even he didn't even seem convincing in his defending it. It's like, you just don't say shutout. And unfortunately, you can't reverse jinx it, right? If you're losing 3-0, you can't be like, wow, he's got to get a shut. He's going to shut us out. But
yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah.
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 Anyways, that's too much hockey and baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Right now it is 8-2 right now. So, I mean, yeah, fingers crossed. But as I mentioned at the top of the program, the CFL announced its halftime show for this year's Grey Cup in Winnipeg in a couple of weeks. Machine Gun Kelly is, we talked about this before as I think there were rumors of him being the halftime show act. And then we had texted back and forth, and you said that you knew a couple of his songs. I'm of the age, I think I'm old enough to be like, I don't know any of his songs. I might have heard a song or two of his where I don't know, where I didn't know that he was the artist behind it. But I also think of myself as young enough to know that this is a big deal. Like, this is a huge get for the CFL. The only thing that probably would have made it a little bit better had they actually announced this well in advance. And I know this is par for the course for the CFL. There's two things CFL fans like to complain about. They complain about the artist itself. Then they announce about the time that it took to announce it. I get the timing issue because I think we were given, it was an aberration given a free ride with, so to speak, with Hamilton and BC the last couple of years. Hamilton announced Green Day in September. BC announced theirs, who was Jonas Brothers, in like May. Like, we knew that was happening. Every time else, when it's announced, it's always sometime in October. Maybe get on it. Might push up that date. Anyway, your thoughts on MGK?
The thing is, like, even in the music industry, he's polarizing. Like, the people that like him really like him. The people that his critics are, again, very harsh and cynical. So it's like if this wasn't a halftime show and you just said, hey, Machine Gun Kelly is coming to, and I'll pick Medicine Hat because you're in a bigger market than I am, but Machine Gun Kelly's coming to Medicine Hat, and there's going to be people that are like, this is embarrassing, he's embarrassing, because, I mean, again, I don't follow that side of music. I know that there was a thing between him and Eminem, and again, following the social play-by-play, Machine Gun Kelly loses very badly, and then there's people that are just going to focus on him from that side. And then there's some people that enjoy his stuff or they really are big fans. And I mean, sorry, if he could get Megan Fox, he's aces in my book. Like, good for him. You win at life. So he gets my respect solely for that. But that joke aside, I've got a couple of songs on my playlists. Like, I build playlists on my favorite music app, and I've got 2 Machine Gun Kelly songs on my playlist that rotate through. So it's like, I know who he is, and he's got 2 songs that I really enjoy. One of them I don't think he'll be able to sing on there, My Bloody Valentine. I enjoy that one. I was working with some young guys when I was an electrician, and those guys had it on playlists that they would listen to, and I'm kind of like, dang, it's a bit of an earworm. It gets in you. He's got that pop punk sound, like he would have been probably really big in the early 2000s during that punk pop. If you were into the My Chemical Romance and the Good Charlottes and the punk pop bands of that time, like we've even had, I'm not particularly sure it's similar, but Fall Out Boy would have fell into that pop punk genre or emo pop punk.
Yeah, the last time the Grey Cup was in Winnipeg, Fall Out Boy was so obviously
unfortunately not the Millhouse version. I was very disappointed that it wasn't
the Millhouse version.
You can't win them all, right? But no, and he's also got that one with Halsey, Forget Me Too. I picked up when I had XM radio, listening to that, it would pop in on the channels I would listen to. I was like, it's catchy. Like, it's not poetry. He's not a lyrical genius, but I mean, it's catchy. And to me, that's, if you enjoy the music, and it gets the job done. But like you said, like, we have this conversation every year. We talk about the halftime show, and people are going to hate it. If it's Canadian, we hate it because it's Canadian again, and we think we can only have Canadian artists. If it's American, we hate it because it's American and we should only have Canadian artists. And this is all stuff I've said 100 times every time a halftime show. It's like, I don't even know how to make it a fresh topic other than talking about the artists themselves. It's the same thing. Like, I'm going to go through my socials tonight, and it's just going to be people like losing their mind over Machine Gun Kelly. And my only thing is, another thing that makes Canadian football so different than American football, because that's obviously been a hot topic this last month, considering rule changes, is that the halftime show means nothing in Canada. We don't watch the Grey Cup for halftime because we actually have an entertaining game to watch in our championship. That's why we don't have to focus on the halftime, because we don't have to be worried most times that the Grey Cup's going to be a dud. So for me, it's always a non-starter anyways, because nobody goes to a Grey Cup for the halftime show. Everyone goes to a Super Bowl for the halftime show. This halftime show is just something. You okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, honestly, you could put the Super Dogs out there for the Grey Cup halftime show, and there's going to be people out there that love it. My kid would watch the halftime show if you put the Super Dogs out. Those are those dogs that run around the obstacle courses as fast as they can. Like, you could throw those out for the Grey Cup halftime show, and there's going to be people that lose their mind. I can't believe this is it. But there's going to be people that like it. Like, the Grey Cup halftime show isn't as culturally significant in the Canadian Football League as it is to Americans, but because we like to mimic Americans, we have to make a big deal about our. I'm already terrified that we're going to be presenting the Grey Cup to the owner of the winning team again, which that opens up a whole other kind of worm. That one, I may get back into circa 2010 Tony rants, like the 2010s. I might open up that can of worms if I go back into presenting the Grey Cup to the owner like we had to witness last year. I can always feel pulling myself towards that argument, but we'll stay on the halftime show. Yeah,
so I've there's really nothing further that I can say. Yeah, it's, you are never ever going to satisfy 100% of the people in regards to the halftime show. It's never going to happen. Like, you can get the biggest star. Like, the CFL could have gotten Bad Bunny, which is one of the most popular artists at this point. They could have got him, and there's probably going to be a lot of people who shut out the old typical, who? I've never heard of him, so he can't be good. But and where's that logic, right? I mean, if you haven't heard of someone and he's got that much success, that's not an artist problem. That's a you problem. Like, I'm not saying that 100% of all fans should know who Machine Gun Kelly is, but that seems to be a you issue. And you know what? Credit to a lot of people who come out, like today was like the first time where I actually outright was expecting the worst out of the response to this, and I actually saw a lot of people just showing accountability to their age, being like, listen, right? There was someone, I can't remember who it was, but he said, it sucks knowing that I'm of the age demographic that the CFL, that's how old you know I am, when the CFL no longer aims for my demographic.
Yeah, exactly.
But the big thing here,
we said that about the Jonas Brothers too, right? It's like, there's nothing wrong with the halftime shows. You're just getting old, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
They're not after you anymore. We're not bringing the nylons back to do the halftime show. Like, you're right.
Like, when was the last time that they actually had a Canadian old band? Like, no. Like, I'm thinking...
The only thing that instantly pops into my head is I was at the 2009 Grey Cup in Calgary, and we had Blue Rodeo, I think it was.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's the first one that pops into my head, because as I go back, I'm only seeing, Fall Out Boy, as I mentioned it, Jonas Brothers, Keith Urban. Did he do the Calgary Grey Cup?
He did in 2019.
Yeah, and Keith Urban, I remember him. Black Eyed Peas. I was at the one that Black Eyed Peas did in 2005. I mean, obviously there was the Justin Bieber one for the 100th. Justin Bieber, Carly Rae Jepsen. So maybe that's the last Canadian one.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that was the last Canadian. That might have been the last Canadian one, but I'm looking more referring to the last Canadian that actually falls into the old demographic.
Oh, okay.
Blue Rodeo probably falls into that category. Sure, before that, Bare Naked Ladies.
Why do I feel like there was a Bachman Turner Overdrive in there somewhere near the end of the 90s?
There might have been. And
you have one in near the end 90. Was the 98 Bachman Turner Overdrive?
No, the 98, I can't even remember who was the 98 one, because that was the one that was supposed to be Ottawa's, and then Ottawa folded. And so like they were looking for someone to host, and Winnipeg was like, yeah, we'll do it. And I think it was like KRS-One might have been, was like one of those dance fades or whatever, but I'm sure you can enter that into your Google machine.
Oh yeah, I gotta know right now. It's driving me nuts. We can move forward, but I'm gonna take a peek at this. There's
gonna be a lot of people listening to this who are like shouting through our headsets right now, or shouting at their phones. But yeah, let's move forward. I don't think we need to talk about anything further about Machine Gun Kelly, other than the fact that I think it will be very interesting to see Glenn Suter and Machine Gun Kelly talking during the play.
I just started looking at this list. Oh my gosh! Like, the list I found starts at the 90s on Wikipedia, like right out of the gate. Like, Winnipeg Stadium, November 1991. Luba and Burton Cummings.
Who?
That's
who and Burton Cummings?
Pardon? Burton Cummings and Luba. I don't know if you remember Luba.
No.
The Canadian Luba.
No. We're getting the
I don't even know who Jack Semple is.
Nope.
There's the Nylons in 96.
Okay.
The one I was thinking. Greatest Grey Cup ever. I don't care. I'll die on that though. Trooper in 97. Like,
where was 97?
97 doesn't feel that long away.
Was that in Hamilton?
Trooper?
Was that in Hamilton?
No, Edmonton. 97 Edmonton. Trooper. Okay. Love Inc. is the one. Is that what you said? Love Inc.
No, but that makes sense.
That was the halftime show in '98. Love Inc.
Yeah, I knew it was some kind of dance group that was because around that time that was like all the rage, as the young peeps say.
Yeah. Wow, 1999 paraplegics with the local high school cheer. Ouch.
Yeah, this is how we don't know who they are if
Yeah.
we can't even pronounce what their names are.
The Guess Who in 2000.
Yeah,
the
Guess
2000 cricket. And then obviously your Shania Twains.
Mhm.
We all remember Shania Twain. How could you forget Shania Twain?
Mhm.
Then Bryan Adams, Sam Roberts. Then the Tragically Hip Ottawa. Remember that one?
Mhm.
Nelly Furtado, Lenny Kravitz. I forgot about Lenny Kravitz doing a halftime show. Oh, Theory of a Dead Man in Montreal in 2008. Yeah, Blue Rodeo 97. That's right. 2009 it was Blue Rodeo. I was correct.
Okay.
Bachman Turner Overdrive
In 2010.
2010.
Okay, that was the one in Edmonton, right?
12 years ago.
Yeah.
We had Bachman Turner Overdrive. Oh yeah.
2011 Nickelback. 2013 was. Oh yeah, we don't talk about that
We
anymore.
don't talk about that
No.
anymore. We don't talk about Headley anymore.
Listen, there's a lot of people who are new to listen to our show who probably are maybe not of age.
Mhm.
Google this and Google Headley around that time.
Yeah, but be careful what links you follow.
Yes.
Headley. Oh my God, I forgot. Imagine Dragons was one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Imagine Dragons.
Thought that altogether. Then there's your Fall Out Boy, One Republic. Forgot about that one completely.
Uh-huh.
Shania again. Alicia Cara. I remember that one. She took a lot of unfortunate negative feedback during her halftime.
Oh yeah, it was good. She was good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there we go. Like the Arkells. I actually remember that being a surprisingly good halftime show.
You know what?
I was not an Arkells fan, but that one, I remember that one being better than I expected it to be.
The CFL has actually nailed it. Like if you actually paid attention and watched a halftime show, which I'm not forcing you to do it, their halftime show, at least dating back to Alicia Cara, has actually been good. It's been really good.
Yeah.
Keith Urban
I think you can go right back to Nickelback.
Yeah.
Like let's take it with Headley. But since Nickelback's been right.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the debacle in 2022, which we really don't know how we ended up with that halftime show. But I always read theories that it was going to be that Mendes kid from Toronto.
Oh, Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes. Yeah. I always heard it was supposed to be Shawn Mendes, and then he had mental health problems and had to back out, and that's why we ended up with that absolute debacle of a halftime show.
2/3 of the Florida-Georgia line. I made a joke about that online, saying I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that wanted the third member of that group to be the halftime show in Winnipeg, but and the debacle with that one that happened 2 years ago in Regina, or 3 years ago. Yeah, not only was it a group that nobody cared for. Like they wasn't even the complete group, and they announced it like I think just before the playoffs started. I think, and that just goes in hand with the timing, right? And like this is something you really want to push these tickets. That you give your fan base a reason to buy tickets. Announce them ahead of time. Like not talking about before the season, but October is September is a decent time to announce stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
that's our whole show on the halftime.
Yeah,
we need to do a pretty good halftime show.
We
that could be the name of our show, the Grey Cup halftime show.
Yeah. I still want to see Glenn Suter and Machine Gun Kelly talk to each other, just like they did.
That's gonna be fantastic. That's gonna be that's like that. The look, just talking to Glenn Suter, the look on MGK's face is going to be like the look on my daughter's face when I used the word Riz a couple of days ago. I thought she was going to die of embarrassment. Die of embarrassment.
My daughter just every now and then I'll ask her, it's like, hey, what time did you get up? And she'll be like, I don't know, somewhere on 6 to 7, and I'll go 6, 7. Apparently, I have no idea what that means.
I just found out what that was 2 days ago.
Yeah, and yeah, she looks at me like I am the cringiest person ever. Let's go to week.
My daughter will shut me down in public if I even open my mouth like I'm going to make a joke. She's like, Dad, don't. I get that.
There we go. All right, let's go to week 20 of the CFL season, as we should. A lot of these games mean nothing. Well, they mean nothing to certain people, certain teams, but there is a lot of placement and playoff opportunity. Most notably, tomorrow, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers host the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Winnipeg is favored by 7 points. As we know, Saskatchewan has clinched first place in the West, so they are resting everybody. They've got Jake Mayer resting or starting. I think they're even resting Brett Lawther. Roland Milligan resting. Their defensive player of the year, reigning defensive player of the year. I don't have the whole depth chart in front of me, but it is, suffice to say, their depth is going to be tested tomorrow against Winnipeg. But I would venture to say that Winnipeg is going to be tested because they still have a good chunk of defensive starters in that locker room in Saskatchewan. Winnipeg's favored by 7. The over-under is set at 48.5. Tony, where you got this one, and why do you have the under in this one?
Yeah, I think we pretty much know we're going to go on this one. I think this was a game the Bombers needed. It's interesting. This is a game the Bombers needed at the best time because it's a gift. Let's put all our cards on the table. This is a gift. Saskatchewan's serving this one up for them. Just can the Bombers hit it out of the park? We should say this is a guaranteed win for the Bombers because, again, they're serving them up softball. Is this Bombers team good enough to hit it out of the park, though? I think they are. I opened up with that just to add to the drama. Yeah, a little bit of drama, but I mean, I think Winnipeg takes it because I think there's going to be a little pressure that they know there's there's no excuse for you not to win this football game, Winnipeg. There really isn't. But can you step up to the occasion, or are you going to double down on what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to say choke, but kind of just fold a little under pressure and expectations because you have got a fierce Elks team behind you that I think actually sees daylight for the first time in 6 years. And they just came off a win against you. And spoiler alert, I'm taking Edmonton in the next prediction as well. But I think this is exactly what the Winnipeg Bombers need. Now they just need to be focused and know that they can win this game and take it. I have them getting it 31-15.
Yeah, that spread is just way too much for me. I think Winnipeg wins this one. I know there's going to be a lot of Bomber fans listening to this. What are you doing? Pick against them. But I just, if for the purpose of getting my winning percentage up there, I don't know if we've actually kept track over the course of this year as far as our pick'em goes, but that spread at 7 is just way too much in my opinion. I think there's just enough fight in that Saskatchewan's defense to really limit to what Zach Claros is going to do. Keep in mind that also Winnipeg will be without Nick Dembski in this one, but they are going to get Carrick Wheatfall back in the lineup, so that it's going to be a full and healthy, well, I guess I shouldn't say full and healthy receiving core. But when you look at Winnipeg, you're like, can they win by 7? I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those Winnipeg wins, but it won't look pretty. It will be like one of those things where they'll get the yards, they'll settle for field goals, and then maybe they'll get a pick 6 because of Captain Checkdown and Jake Mayer over there in Saskatchewan. This will probably be a game that I think a lot of people will want to miss. And as of recording, this game is not sold out. The Bombers' streak of selling out, going back to last year, is in jeopardy. I don't know what the final ticket sales are there right now, but it's in danger unless I miss something. But I'm with you on this one. I do have Winnipeg winning this one 26-19 or 26-20, just to say, because I just said that they weren't going to be able to cover the spread. So 26-20, take the under in this one. I think both offenses will be hard pressed to put up points on the regular. Next game is the doubleheader. The Edmonton Elks are in BC. You've already said that Edmonton is going to win. They are underdogs in this game by 6 points. The over-under is set at 56.5. Do you want to elaborate on this? Do you want to give a precise score?
Yeah, my prediction is coming from. I want to see the Elks team that I've been trying to hype up for 2 seasons now. And they picked up their ultimate must-win game last week against Winnipeg. And now you're right there. You're going to run out of games. I think it's unfortunate if you're an Elks fan. You're going to run out of games. But I don't know if I'm picking this because I believe straight across the board they're a better football team and they're just going to out-football BC. But I don't have a lot of faith in the BC Lions. And I just feel like Edmonton has wanted something like this so bad. And I feel like football is a game you can play on raw emotions. You got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play discipline. But emotion is a lot of it. And I think this is the show me game for the Elks for me, that you can win this. And if for whatever reason Winnipeg doesn't win that game the day before, then Edmonton guaranteed wins that football game the next day because that door will be wide open. So that's why I'm picking the Elks 28-25.
Yeah, I want to go that route. I really do. BC, as much as I don't want to believe that they are somewhat legit, just because I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop. But I think I think when you put together a string of games, one is a one-off. Two, you can argue that might be just a streak or a fluke. When you start putting 3, 4, 5 good games in a row, that's what we call a trend. And I think BC is starting to trend in the right way. I thought their pass defense has been incredible. Their run defense hasn't been tested a lot, but they have been pretty stifling. Their offense...
And they're putting points on the board. Holy cow.
Yeah. The one thing that would really, really put this thing in Edmonton's favor is Edmonton has been right there, but they just shoot themselves in the foot. BC does the same thing. These are two highly undisciplined teams when it comes to penalties. At this point, I don't think that I'm really convinced that Edmonton is going to... I think they'll cover the spread. Take Edmonton plus the points because I think they are... BC is favored by 6, but I do think Edmonton does cover, and I think old man White, Sean White, kicks a game-winning field goal to win this one 30-28 over the Edmonton Elks. And of course, the over-under is set at 56.5, so take the over in that one. Next game, next day, a doubleheader, Montreal in Ottawa. Tyree Adams will be starting for the Ottawa Redblacks, and I don't care who else is starting for Montreal. I think Montreal is playing with a lot of optimism, a lot of confidence, and it's borderline cockiness sometimes, but I think this team, and I'm referring to Ottawa, is basically a stepping stone going into the playoffs for Montreal to be like, hey, let's shit kick this team and let's go into the playoffs on a high. Despite that they'll probably end up having to dress or bench a lot of guys the next week. But Montreal, I have Last week I said that Montreal was going to put up 50. I was wrong. Not so much in this one. I think Montreal would put up 50 over Ottawa in this one. I think Ottawa's just gassed. I think they're just not in it. And when they're playing at home against a better opponent, they are put into the fetal position too early. I do think Montreal wins this one very heavily. I have this one Montreal 51, Ottawa 10 over the Red Blacks. Where do you got this one going?
I'm just going to pick the winner because I think you're right in assessment of Montreal versus Ottawa. And even if Montreal takes their foot off the gas in the second half, starts pulling guys out, and once they get a 21-point lead, 20-point lead, 18-point lead, they're going to start peeling starters off and getting bodies healthy. And even at that rate, a generous score could pop up, but I still think, regardless, it goes in favor of Montreal. I'm still putting them in at 31-14, with maybe a lot of Ottawa's points just coming in the second half when Montreal's put it in coast.
Last game of the week, the Toronto Argonauts are in Calgary to play the Stampeders. Stampeders were favored by 9.5 points. The over-under is set at 42.5. Jared Daggy is going to make his third straight start in Calgary. Obviously, Toronto is going to be without Whit McManus. Going into this game, Calgary probably going to get a couple of their guys back on the mend. So at this point, I like Toronto making this game close. I really do. I think Toronto does cover, but I do think Calgary, had this been a different team, I'm not convinced last week's win against Hamilton is the Calgary Stampeders that we saw at the beginning of the year. I really am starting to think that maybe it's Hamilton as opposed to Calgary, but this game will be a sure test to prove me right or to prove me wrong. I do have Calgary winning this one, but not by that much of a margin. Calgary wins this one 32-25 over the Toronto Argonauts. Tony, where you got this one going?
I'm going to give this one to the Calgary Stampeders. I don't think that miracle Toronto team is around anymore right now. I don't think they've got a last burst. Boy, the Stampeders needed that win last week. I was glad to see that one. I didn't know if they had it in them, but I believe I did give the win to them last week. I feel like I don't remember what my picks were.
We both. I think we both went to Hamilton. We were both 3-1.
Okay, but regardless, good on Stampeders. Yeah, actually, I think I did pick a losing streak for Calgary now, but either way, good for them. We'll see what they've got left with a couple games in the season. So I'm going to give this one to the Calgary Stampeders at 27-10 because I don't think Toronto's got that miracle finish in them anymore.
Rouge Radio is partnered with the good people at Sports Interaction. Go to SIA.com/Rouge and your first deposit will be matched up to 100%. And as always, Tony and Dalt say, please play and gamble responsibly.
Thank you, Irv. Yes, we always have to throw in the shameless plug for our partners and sponsors. Before we get into your final thought here, Tony, the Canadian Football Podcast Network has their Fantasy League, which ends season this week. And I made it to the Final Four, and I lost the semifinals by 3 points.
Yikes.
So good on the CFL outsiders who managed to eke one out over me. So good on them. Obviously, you always want the winner. I'm not picking sides, but you always want the winner, the person who beat you out of a championship, just to say that you were beat by the champ going forward. So good luck on that one. Hey, before we go, any final thoughts?
Nope. Just trying to make it through the last 2 weeks. I wish I could tell you they're going to be a nail biter, but I don't. There's no nail biting going on. We're just looking for positions now, so just try and survive the 2 weeks. We've got the best football of the season waiting for us around the corner.
We've got what was it? Like one day where we might actually find out where the rest of the season means absolutely nothing, at least to one team. So hopefully that kind of optimism lasts just one more week. Yes, I'm saying that the optimism that if Winnipeg loses and Edmonton wins, we can actually have one more week where the CFL regular season means something. On that note, you can follow us on all the social media platforms, at Rouge Radio, myself at Rouge Delts, Tony at Tony Rouge, and of course you can like and subscribe to us, rate us, tell all your friends, all podcast applications, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, you name it, we're on it most likely, and of course like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are putting out regular content, of course, on TikTok at Rouge Radio Pod. And have I plugged anything else? Am I missing something? Oh yeah, email. Send us the email that we won't read for another month at thenewrouge@gmail.com. For Tony, I'm Daltz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.